Good afternoon from Sacred Space. I just had a sandwich. At Titania's Realm. It's 1:49 p.m. on the 19th of November 2023. So I've just had a shower and got changed because I'm planning on going to my drumming circle later on this afternoon. So I'm hoping that, I don't get cut off by my iPhone and I get to spend 2 hours in your company pouring out my journaling and spiritual epiphanies and personal growth as I do for YouTube every day, for the edification of the gods and a few whimsical trickster spirits. And I guess, as I say, for my own satisfaction that my life has not been a complete and utter desolation and waste after all. So I was lying in bed earlier and listening to Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files, and I was receiving kind of downloads which were quite lovely and motivating and inspiring, and telling me that true love is manifested in my present reality, here on planet Earth, in the space-time continuum. And I need only just sit very quietly and patiently and wait to see who is the most authentic and genuine and heartfelt, generous, kind, sweet, ennobling, at times protecting, if that necessity should ever arise, although I don't look to human men usually for protection. But yeah, someone who's capable, able, powerful enough to be my man and withstand my very, very powerful protective spirits and ancestors. And I've been thinking deeply about it all day, actually, since I went dancing on Friday night and saw the love around me, even though some of it was a bit inappropriate for my new young Māori acquaintance. I witnessed the truest, deepest, most heartfelt, stoic, stubborn, determined love around me, and it's just a shame that those loves are not available to me because they're married. But I can see quite clearly, that their love is quite heartfelt and stabilizing for me, because it's a level of trust. Probably because the sexual equation has been removed from it, and so it's not going to activate all my root and sacral chakras and create a dynamic uplift. Maybe that's a better word for it. But I'm seeing the love surrounding me in the club, and it's deeply meaningful and heartfelt and honoured by me, given that where's the rest of my family now? I don't hear from them, apart from, my two close friends. So it is a bit kind of surrealist that I'm, being lavish with love out in my music scene, where before the music scene and the casino live wire bar was by and large toxic. And so my soul-nourishing love was coming from my core family and core friends. So it's it's been a flip, a complete 180-degree flip of that love manifestation. So it's been a bit strange, people. But I'm being shown, in certain terms, who is real in my life. And I am deeply, deeply grateful for that. I can't sustain any more vicious attacks on my life, my heart, my body, my spirit by false lackluster men. I simply can't. I'm too old. I've fought too many psycho, spiritual, and heartbreaking and death spiraling battles over the decades to ever go down that pathway again. So there is that. But time will tell who is real, right? And I'm in the meantime I'm getting on with my normal business of living, which is maintaining my normal routines, reading you my journaling and going to drumming, going dancing and resting as much as I can in between, because I am fragile at the moment. And the more vulnerable and fragile I get, that people think they're going to ride on my energy and suck and use and abuse, the more powerful my ancestors become and conflagrate me. And I'm very conscious of that. Since yesterday and today, I'm feeling them around me, probably more than I've ever felt them before in my life. And I think part of that was they came in with that COVID infestation, and they showed me how powerful I am and how vital my core is and how I can survive almost everything, because I am a mortal trapped in a small, short, fat hobbit woman's body after all. So let's not get too above our station. I know my limitations very well, but my supernal spiritual prowess far exceeds my physical limitations, and I'm very quickly learning to trust in that more and more as the days go by. So what does that mean? I'm either dying and about to transition into the next dimension, or I'm being prepared for whatever massive fucking onslaught the globalists and the elites and the reptilians and the filthy dogs have for humanity next. Well, they'll be coming up against me and my ancestors, and my tribe are flocking around me, consciously aware that I come pre-programmed since birth with powerful, powerful energies. And if I could flip the entire malfeasance that happened in the last 4 years on my own, by my own little self, I would have done it. But I needed you, all of you who saw through the evil, to align with me, and very few did actually, because they were brainwashed and fear-based. And I understand. It was very hard to break through the programming. I had to deprogram myself daily, because I was seeing a complete repeat pattern of what I went through as a child and what my forebears went through in Nazi Germany. So, in an ironic way, my own family of origin, who spent decades trying to destroy me, kill me, rape me, emotionally torture me, their life experiences, which culminated in as part of my complex traumas, became a very backhanded gift. I'm alive because of their trauma experiences that created me to be very, very strong and stubborn, and to think very clearly from my third eye, see through all the masks, literal masks and delusions. So maybe I can't thank them. Maybe that was my spirit too. I've got to give myself a bit of credit. Why am I underestimating myself? Why am I playing small? I played small enough for 5 decades, almost 6 decades. So there is that. Anyway, today's stories are entitled, and it's going to be a bit painful for me, people, so bear with me, are entitled tiptoeing through tulips, trauma memories of the tulip, and dead toads and mummified lorikeet bird beaks, strange configurations and potent messages from spirit. And they reminded me today as I was lying on my bed. I think I read it out in a journal a few days ago that Spirit said to me, I think back in 2019, sorry. He will fight to be with you, the one, the man that's meant to be with you. And I thought they were talking about the man I was still in love with back in 2019. And I actually said it, wrote it down and read it to you. Why would he fight to be with me? He's made no effort. Just been a lackluster cur. And only this morning was I realising, my God, because they didn't actually name the person, they just said he, a generic he. And I realised, I had a little smile to myself. Today I realised, by the gods, my man will have to fight to be with me. He'll have to fight through all my spiritual protections. He'll have to fight through all the walls imposed by my very valid and hard-earned and not deserved traumas. He'll have to prove to me his sincerity by dating me. And he'll have to show that he's willing to share resources and be a real partner to me, not a parasite or a freeloader or a bludger like I had in the past. Jesus. He'll have to demonstrate his loyalty and his faithfulness to me. I don't think there's a man born capable of meeting all those criteria. He'll have to fight. He'll have to fight to gain acceptance from my friend, my very rare and precious friends, who want me to have a true love partner, but at the same time will also be very circumspect of anyone new that comes into my life. I was actually surprised by how open-hearted and supportive they all were when I mentioned this new man that started contacting me via the internet. It's like they laid down all their walls and just said, go for it, Tanya, not realising how fucking dangerous that really was and is for me, my body, my mind and my spirit. But, you know, I did go and meet with that man, and he was quite lovely. Criticised me for being nervous. Projection. But anyway, that one's come and that one's gone. So the real man that's capable of being my life partner. I'm not saying husband, because I don't want to get married ever again. I don't want to be owned, carry someone else's name and be besmirched by their energy when they're false and feckless ever again. But a life partner, an equal, a man that I can look at with deep love and affection and tenderness and passion and romance, but also friendship based on trust and respect and honour. A real man. This last doofus that I met, I'm calling him a doofus. I know it's a bit disrespectful, but he was a bit of a doofus. Kept going, oh, you're so hungry, you need feeding. Oh, you're a big warrior goddess and you're a sexual being, and teasing and stirring me up, right? He has no idea how hungry I am for a real man who doesn't play sick psychosexual games. I could hoover an entire universe up right now and then vomit it out. That's how disgusted I am by the psychosexual games. But it is what it is, darlings. It was a potent lesson to me. to own my own inner love goddess as well as my warrior goddess, and not be fooled by inadequate trickster men. And I've seen real men out in my dance space, and as I say, it's a shame they're not available. It's that one is worthy of being my partner, because he's a real man with respect and honour for me, and I deeply love that. I deeply love him for that. A good man. They're out there, but for whatever reasons they can't always be with me, and that's my curse, and I have to live with that. It doesn't mean I like it, but I accept that that is the way it is. But the right man for me will fight. He will fight Thor and Odin. He will fight all my gods and goddesses. He will fight my cousin's Māori ancestors. He will fight. He will fight to be mine, because he will see me and honour me and love me accordingly. Truly, deeply, loyally, faithfully. Nothing less will be tolerated. Not one scrap less, because I can survive on my own and have done for 29 years. But the soul innovation has been quite lovely. Has had me sparking up on channels that I haven't lit up for a while. So I appreciate and am grateful for that. And here's a photo of a beautiful woman tiptoeing through the tulips. It's a much bigger photo actually, but anyway, you saw half of it. 19th of November 2022. Oh, bless. My beautiful boy. My beautiful, beautiful boy. My Beauregard and my Charlie and a white rose. That rose has since died, which is a shame. It's a lovely rose bush. Oh, are you kidding? Oh, no, it's all right. I thought my laptop turned itself off. Anyway. La vie en rose. Edith Piaf. My lungs are betraying me again. So this was 1 year ago. My lungs are never great. What am I going to do about my lungs, people? Love them anyway. Love them back to full psychedelic dreamer, warrior, goddess, queen, vibrancy. Just keep breathing, baby. Just keep breathing. I just coughed up something really revolting. Ugh. I overdid things yesterday. I was too exhausted to go dancing and went to bed by 10:30 p.m. I actually slept for a change too. I woke up at 9:22 a.m. I still feel fatigued. I hope I feel well enough by tonight to go dancing. Excuse me. As I miss it, I will have to see how I go. If I rest enough during the day, I might summon up my dancing queen spirit by night time. You see how indomitable and stubborn I am with my own self, pushing myself when my lungs are struggling and I'm not actually all that freaking well. It's like, it's a force of nature, people. A force of nature. The Tanya. There's mould on my ceiling again, so that explains the icky thing I just brought up. I will have to scrub the ceiling and walls again. I made plenty of clove oil this time, so I will use that too. My house is literally killing me. Oh, yes, it is. It's a nice little house, and I am contented here. I mean, it's not like I've got any better options, have I? 19th of November 2020. Beauregard is extra playful and happy tonight. I told him earlier that he is going to see my psychiatrist tomorrow afternoon. I used to take him with me for my therapy sessions. I think he is really excited. He also seems pleased and relieved. Just putting you down because we were jumping around too much in my hand. It's not good. He also seems pleased and relieved that I have finished working on the mosaic table. It was taking way too much attention from him. I feel extremely tired after pushing myself to complete that project. It had become somewhat of an obsession. Oh. Rain's coming, I can smell the rain. Well, that's going to stymie our drumming, isn't it? As it often does. I was too tired to go out to buy something for dinner. Felt woozy, so I thought it would be unsafe to drive. It's not sitting. I've got a pinched nerve at the back of my knee from dancing in high heels all night. And another sore thing in the back of the other knee, and my legs hurt. What am I doing? It's madness. But I had a good dance. I got a good mosh in, and that was good. I felt woozy, so thought it would be unsafe to drive, so I heated up a tin of Wattie's spaghetti, which is a New Zealand brand of spaghetti that I don't like the Aussie brands. They've got no flavour. But anyway, I will have to rest well the rest of tonight and tomorrow so I can make it to my first face-to-face appointment since COVID began. 19th of November 2019. And I wrote, utterly, utterly abhorrent. Fierce fallout after Prince Andrew breaks his silence on Jerry Epstein. Well, that was a crock of shit, wasn't it? Did you ever see that interview? Oh, the bald-faced lies. Oh, my God. Anyway, so here I write. 2 points. His former wife, who supports him 100%, had her own sexual proclivities that led to their divorce. Toe-sucking a wealthy Texan oil baron comes to mind. Yes, I am old enough to remember that scandal. I wonder about the safety of their 2 daughters at that time period. Daddy naffing off with convicted child sex offenders, and Mummy being completely inappropriate in public spaces with tycoons. For fuck's sake. As for the comment about the varnished, authentic interview, give me a fucking break. Abhorrent. All of it. Specific memories of a night out at Pizza Express and denials about his ability to sweat. Sweating much? Vile. Her Majesty, if she has, or she's since passed on into the next dimension, if she had any heart and soul left after her putrid offspring's appalling sexual misbehaviours, must be so embarrassed and ashamed. And I actually did feel sorry for the poor woman. Well, she's not poor. She's a queen for the love of God, but, you know, like my kids might be sadistic and cruel to me and abandon me when I'm very ill, but at least they're not flaming pedophiles, my God. I can't imagine the horror of that. That is the worst thing that can happen to a mother. Unless, you know, she's a pedophile herself, then she'd think it was okay, but... You know, no, it's appalling. The whole thing. It's just appalling. And here I post a photograph of bald eagle who died last Friday at 97. In his long, extraordinary life, he was a champion dancer, both ballroom and Lakota styles, a touring musician, a rodeo cowboy, a tribal chief, an actor, a stunt double, a war hero. And here he is. What a beautiful face. David Bald Eagle, Lakota chief. 97's a bloody good innings, isn't it? May he find rest and peace in the sky with the eternal loving Ein Sof All. That's putting my Kabbalistic expressions onto it. But with great spirit is where he's going to, which is the same energy but just different names, right? May his soul fly straight and true like an eagle, Miigwech, which is Ojibwa for thank you. I have just blocked 2 shaman friends for their condescending, vile, anti-Semitic views. For the record, I am not confused. If you are on my page, this relates to my Facebook page, people, and you think for one moment in your pie-eyed genocidal attitudes that the swastika can ever be reclaimed or rebranded as a symbol of peace, fuck off my page. The swastika is ancient, that is true. Peaceful, it never was. Study the Upanishads, where they describe a nuclear or energy war so powerful it turned almost everything to glass. Peaceful, we are living in modern fascism. It is everywhere. When they come for your beloved family or your own self, tell me again how fucking peaceful your swastika is. Wear it with pride so the Jew and the witch in me will know you intend to rape, torture or kill me. Show me your true heart and perverted minds, evil dickheads. I am so angry with myself for trusting or even liking and supporting these people like a fucking fool. But it is part of my metamorphosis. Instead of looking for spiritual leaders who are just plain ignorant, clay-footed gimps, I should have followed the teachings long ago from my Pal Talk friend Arkan. Everything you need to know is already inside you. Look within. Trust only your own self. Accept no other guru, master, teacher, or guide. I shall put my faith back in my own discernment and power as a woman. I should never have floundered as I have done in the past few months. Had I not been so ill, it would never have happened. And a bit later I wrote, tiptoeing through the tulips, my dad's favourite song. He sang to me with the ukulele, and then Mum hooked up with the tulip. That was her nickname for my stepfather, Cornelis, or Kees van der Graft. Sigh. But there were a few happy memories in the river of tears. That was denial. I am okay. I have good men in my life, men who would never strive to hurt me, men who value, cherish and honour me. my beautiful, handsome, adoring, platonic loves. You know who you are, my sweet ones, my earth angels, my darlings. Today's whimsy. The spirits of the coffee have been quiet the last few days, so there were no grounds or images at all. But here we are, back in the room, smiley face. I see a tower, or as we are all adults here, what looks like a phallus at the opening of a vagina or womb. Perhaps it's a lighthouse seen through a telescope. Perhaps it's the tower from the tarot, which represents complete, utter devastation, then rebuilding from ground zero, which we have had way too much of with these unprecedented, extreme bushfires. And here's the image in my cup. In this one, if you turn it upright, how are we going to turn it upright? Bejesus. Turn it upright, maybe. I don't know if that works, people. Can't see. In this one, if you turn it upright, I see a Balinese or Thai dancer. Even her headgear sinuously dancing. Lovely. And that's kind of interesting because about March 2022, I got given support from the government with, caseworkers, and they sent me a cleaning lady, Muslim cleaning lady, very nice woman. And she's from Indonesia. So there's the premonition. She doesn't come from Bali, but Bali is in Indonesia. So there we have the energy presenting itself to me already 2 years prior, right? At the very top, it looks like a pool with a single lotus flower, or perhaps a rosebud. Very cool. I just love my morning coffee now. I am not usually much of a coffee drinker, but I was gifted in abundance from beautiful Sally, who has always been so generous to me. Sally, who would have thought that your sweet coffee gifts would reap spiritual gifts of their own? Giggles. Ooh, underneath the lotus, I see quite distinctly a man's face peeping out in profile. On the right of the column, he looks almost elvish. How astonishing! The face at the top right looks like an ancestor. They have the classic Phillips snub nose and delicate features like my cousin Megan. I have the round Slavic head, high cheekbones of my Polish ancestors, but I also look a bit like Connie Phillips too. That was my father's mother. Remarkably, I looked a lot like my Polish Jewish mother-in-law. We were both of short stature, chubby, with Slavic-shaped heads, the classic flat head on top that only the Slavs seem to have. Oh well. Although she was much shorter than I, 4 foot something, I think she was 4'10". She came up to here on me. She only came up to my shoulder. For the first time in my life, I felt tall compared to her. By the way, those Slavs, or more specifically Russian raping Cossacks, were everywhere in Eastern Europe. So the shape of them often comes out in Jewish families. Sad but true. The almond, almost snake-like eyes and the sleek contour of the man's face eerily look too much like David, the Devo Davidson. Get thee to Gehinnom, you evil cunt. Get ready. I will meet you and all the other abusers in hell. It's going to be quite a reunion. And he's busily scrambling around my energy, trying to fix my love life so that I'm appeased and sweet and docile and in love when I finally enter Valhalla, disinclined to take vengeance upon him at long last in the spirit world, which he knows I fully plan to be doing. He knows. So what does he send me? Another Davidson to play games with me. It's almost too strange, but also a little bit comical. The Davidian reptilian line. I wonder if I was Michal in a previous lifetime, mocking King David for running naked through the streets. Maybe that's why I'm being punished still in this life with all these false feckless Daves, Davids and Davidsons. It's ridiculous is what it is. It's utterly ridiculous. As God is my true limitless judge, line 'em up. One fine day I will be a-coming. My wrath knows no bounds. Into the next paradigm, I call upon my avenging and protecting angels. Keep those dirty, treacherous, vile bastards far away from me and my true family, friends, pets and sacred space. So it was a real act of, I don't know what that was, that I even met that man after I'd called him out on not telling me his real name. Why would you even give someone an opportunity to play games with your heart ever again? Why would I do that? I must be masochistic. I must love being tortured by some fecker. Anyway, it had to happen. It's come and it's gone, and I'm open wide, babies, ready for the real man to come into my life. How will I know he's a real man? Consistent loyalty and respect and honour will be shown to me. That's how I'll know. All I can say is, all they can do is spy from every dimension, and all I can do is rebuke, purify, surge and resurge, rise and shine, and stand in my own mana, love and honour. The things these men tried to utterly destroy in me grew back. Ha ha ha, it's beautiful, in it. Beautiful and powerful. So I turned the cup upside down because I realised while looking at it that it could be looked at from both perspectives. Can you see the dancing woman there? And a couple dressed in robes holding a small child. Can you see that? This one's, well, their faces are kind of hidden, but I don't know if they're angels or what they are, but they look like they're wearing ancient robes like they wear in the Middle East, right? It's just my imagination. You might not see what I see, and you don't have to see what I see, but that's what I recognise there. Here I see, instead of the tower, 3 beings or people standing, perhaps a woman holding a small child. They are dressed in robes. And then I write, trigger warning. There are more faces and what looks like the number 25 and a V above it. November 25 is Case's yahrzeit, also his mother's birthday. Also the date he was kidnapped by the Nazis from his bed and put on a train to Mittelbau-Dora, which is in Nordhausen. Well, he can fuck off too. Sorry, but no. You are also not welcome in my energy. A lecher, a traitor, and a splitter. But 25 years ago, I did right by you, Case. I did not humiliate you, as my mother did, as you drew your last breaths in this incarnation. I even fucking held your hand, under orders from my mother, as you slipped out of your earth suit into the void. You gargled out my name, afraid to die. Perhaps, as death claimed you, you had a nice little life review, and you finally realised how absolutely evil and vile you had been to me as a child, and the epic treachery with Gisela, the hells you put me through as an adult woman. My kids adored you. They had no idea. No idea why I followed them when you lured them to your bedroom, offering them lollies. Unwilling to leave you alone with them for even a moment. Yes, I remember well the dead eye you gave me, and I peered just as deadly back at you. You don't trust me, Tanya. No, you forfeited any rights or privileges of trust when I was 9 years old. 10, 11, 15, and even 20, when you groped my pregnant belly, hoping to touch my little, as yet unborn soul growing inside me. That, as well as my own father, groping my heavy, pregnant breasts from behind me as I washed the dishes. Disgusting. Both my fathers. Yet I was expected to put on lavish Christmas dinners, and Michael was expected to invite you to the Television New Zealand studios where he was working for lavish Christmas dinners at his work so you could feast on the back of your own daughter. I sat there and almost hoped you would choke. But that was actually a backhanded favour, as it brought back flashbacks and memories of my abuse. And I was forced into a breakdown, and much later, After I left Michael, I began therapy. But you robbed me of my joy in my pregnancy, flooded my body with PTSD stress hormones that was not good for my beautiful, innocent Crystal. And so the secondary trauma began, you bastard. You too can get thee to Gehinnom. Wait. Keep waiting. I was good to you, my monster. I have been good to all my monsters. What the fuck was that even about? This need to prove myself good and worthy and deserving of love, protection and acceptance. The unloved spawn of Gisela and her utterly filthy henchman and woman. I am so glad I burnt your photos recently. There are many more I need to burn, along with that yellow teddy bear. Burn and burn and burn. Will it change anything? Of course not, but it is symbolic and cathartic. A cleansing and a purging in preparation for my new life, surrounded by real, authentic, loyal, faithful loves, friends and or family, and perhaps, even a life partner one fine day. And then I posted the Steve Miller Band, The Joker. Don't even know what that's, I can't remember how that song goes. I'll have to play it again, won't I? But that would have been a message from Spirit if I was hearing the lyrics and I had to Google it and look it up, right? That's how my spirits communicate with me via snippets of songs sometimes. Or actually not sometimes, very often. Like today reminding me, the man who is destined to be your partner will fight to be with you. Won't play cruel, sick, perverted little games. He'll behave like a real man. Oh, but Ezrat Hashem, by the will of God, right? Because I'm done with these nasty little boys. Funny fuckers, my spirits, my nemesis, my higher mind. I am the Joker. Just be grateful I don't wear a mask, even plastered in makeup. Underneath I am always authentic, raw, primal, and as yet, sighs, I have not killed anyone. But I don't recommend anyone push those buttons, baby. I am almost ready to pop. And I'm being listened to by my neighbour because I can smell the cigarette smoke. It is what it is, babies. So here I circled an image that was inside the image of the three angels or the three beings. And if you look carefully, it's a little bit abstract, but you can see two faces facing in opposite directions. Sort of grotesque looking faces, but they are there. They are there. My friend Jared says, I see a phoenix taking flight, transformation and metamorphosis, baby. Yeah, so much more exciting than mitosis or osmosis. And I reply, oh wow, again with the metamorphosis. I wonder what I am becoming. We know now, don't we? 4 years later, we know what I have become. And I like it. I like it a lot. I fought hard to be this amazing, wonderful woman, spirit, shaman, witch, Jew, psychedelic dreamer. I fought long and hard, literally from the portal between life and death, many, many times. And I continue. Mitosis, osmosis, occasional psychosis. I've done them all. Metamorphosis sounds much more fun. And my current bio I put up is about metamorphosis, which goes up from time to time when I'm going through a period of transition in recovery from games played by malevolent, lackluster dogs, right? The metamorphosis is tweaked and triggered. And it's powerful and it's beautiful. And as I said earlier, it's a force of nature. 19th of November 2018. What is truly meant for you, I just got some random message from my bank, which is weird. What is truly meant for you will always come back to you. Oh yes, it will. With greater love and light, I need another cup of tea, and bliss and peace. In the meantime, be yourself and allow the healing to take place. Let go, let God. Believe and get ready to receive. Thank you. And this was in response to some meme that Facebook deleted or said wasn't available because they're often cowardly dogs and delete things after the event. I find that annoying, but it is what it is. So I wrote in response to that, so we can guess what they were talking about. I wrote, abso-fucking-lutely, beware the Hoovers who think they gain power by filleting and fawning over men, fools and traitors to our sex who have had to fight with our very lives to survive abusive men and their sycophantic, ghoulish, deviant women. So, pity we don't have the article to cross-reference with. And my friend Julie Butler replied, perceived power, Tanya Aarons. Bit later, bugger all sleep last night, must have slept too much on Saturday and Sunday. Expect hypomaniacal rantings and ravings. Mama T is wired. So anyway, I have slept in the spare room for the past 4 nights as I was waiting for my feather doona to dry completely before sleeping in my own bed. It was a nice change in perspective, almost like being on holiday in my own house. Could do with a holiday or a change of perspective. I've just had a major mind flip from a game player, so I guess that's kind of a change of perspective. I slept really well until last night when Socks decided he had had quite enough of Mama T and Beauregard and even Penny sleeping in his bed and bedroom. So he perched himself on the metal railing and windowsill and hissed and snarled above my head at 4 a.m. I had been in bed since midnight, but was only snoozing in 30-minute increments. Socks was fairly pissed off, and I totally understand. He had waited 4 nights to reclaim his territory. Beauregard wanted to fight him, But I said, no, it is time we went back to my bed, Bobo. So I picked him up and carried him back to my room while Socks bristled and glared indignantly. So then I was seriously wide awake, so I read some lusty bodice-ripping novel while bemusedly musing over my own ineffectual love life. And why won't that scroll down? And smiling to myself about a former lover coming to stare at me while remembering with some tenderness our long ago passion spent together. Then remonstrated myself for living in the past like an old, dishevelled, rejected hag. So rolled over and caught a few hours of sleep before once more greeting a new day. And my hair needs brushing. I'm waiting for it to partially dry at least. Otherwise it gets all torn out and split ends and looks awful. Got very fine hair, people. That's why I exist like this state of between accomplishment and dishevelment. Can swing either ways on the chandelier of the Tanya, can't it, my darlings? Never mind, can't take myself too seriously. It was colder in my bed as I had made the bed up but only had a sheet to lie under, so of course that did not help my insomnia as I require big heavy doona to cocoon in to get any sleep, even though I variously kick it on and off due to overheating with menopause, laughing my ass off. So it's like a fucking sauna and a workout most nights. Oh my goodness. At least my menopause isn't quite so bad as it used to be in 2018. Oh dear goddess. Oh that was a nightmare. I considered snatching the doona off the spare bed, but I could not be bothered getting up again and upsetting Socks even further. I am so tired, but happy. Mysteriously happy, in spite of it all. 19th of November 2017. I did a brave thing today and tried something new. I bought my ukulele 5 years ago and have barely utilised it, so I went to a ukulele jam. I got stuck in traffic. The universe sabotages me at every turn. Then had trouble finding the venue, crossing the street at Park Road, Milton, several times. I even stopped to ask a man who had no idea, so crossed over again and found the place directly opposite. Then I could not find the front door as it was on the side and sort of camouflaged. Another punter had the same problem later, so I feel less stupid and less crazy. So I walked up and down looking for the door while plainly seeing the ukulele players inside, all sort of staring at me like mullets. Talk about othering. It was disgusting how they behaved, really. Hindsight 2020. Just fucking animals everywhere, aren't there? There really are. I walked to the back of the building, but that was the toilets, so I walked back to the side and found the door. Oh my God. I walk in and everyone was seated, playing their ukuleles and stared at me. So I almost crumbled and thought, fuck this shit, and wanted to go home. But I was inside now, wedged right at the door. Quick glance, no seats. I was stuck. So ho-hum, the Tanya summons her dignity and dumps her bag and jacket down and drags out her uke, and I go to tune it. This is funny, but my tuner has gone flat. I almost felt like bursting into tears. Fake it till you make it, Tanya. because people suck. So I play on my out-of-tune uke, trying hard to keep up as I had forgotten most of the chords. But after a while, I just sang along, playing the chords I did know. Quietly, as I am sure my uke was out of tune. And as time passed, I got into the vibe and had a pleasant time. The organiser had brought a cute little dog who had welcomed me when I walked into the bar. The dog, not the humans. I had been so happy to be welcomed by such a delightful entity. She kept coming over to check on me and see if I was okay. Nice little dog. It's how evil they all were, rotten and pestilent. After a while, I relaxed and felt less stupid and homicidal, so I ordered a beer during the break. I very rarely drink beer too. The woman bartender was friendly at least. Then I went back to my spot at the door. Other people arrived and they were warmly welcomed with a friendly "come in" from the organiser. Eventually, a young guy arrived and I saw him go through the same hell I went through, searching for the entrance. I tapped on the window and pointed to the door. When he stepped in, I said, "I know, I had the same problem." Now, why couldn't one of those evil, dirty cunts have given me the same honour when I arrived, seeing me struggle to find the way in? It was vicious is what it was. Near the end, the organiser thanked everyone for coming, as it had been such a rainy day, and welcomed new people, making eye contact with another table, then eventually me. I held his gaze to acknowledge his welcome. There were mostly men there and couples, so that was my outcast crime, I guess. Anyway, I enjoyed the sing-along and got a bit quicker picking out chords, and also had to overcome my usual social anxiety and fucked up alienation. One of the guys made a crack about Neil Young being a pedophile, and someone else quipped about Rolf Harris. I said, yeah, I was bitterly disappointed in Rolf when that came out. They nodded. Made another Neil Young crack. Why does child sexual abuse follow me like a permanent stench every fucking where I go? And when will it ever end? So I got a bit annoyed and smiled and dryly stated, no one here seems to be very young. That ended the paedophile illusions. Anyway, there went I, making enemies and influencing people just by showing up, as I have always done, no matter where I go. Courage and tenacity, like a limpet on a craggy, oceanic rock, thrashed by fate, but I stick to life because I came too late. Whatever, fuck it. And my beautiful cousin Megan said, I'm so proud of you, cousin. Go you and Neil Young. Really? I can hardly believe that one. But you, cousin, you rocked today. Love you. Kiss snort. Animals see your heart, my cousin, and they know it's a good un. Bless you, kiss. And I replied, if it weren't for that dog, I would have gone completely insane. Earth angels can come in the form of animals and birds and other creatures. Don't all have to be human. Me, I replied, oh, and I was dressed nice, like I made an effort not to stand out. Just the bullshit with not finding the doorway to the scratch bar. I must have had fury and frustration all over my face, so they decided, quite rightly, that I was a fucking victim, and that hurts immensely. Anyway, music soothes the savage Tanya. Rock on, babies. 19th of November 2016, 9:44 a.m. Awake. I went to bed at 8:30 p.m. last night. I'm glad I stayed home and rested. The augmentin for my hand must have knocked me down, but all good. My foot is tingling, the one I had septic arthritis in March 2012, which is odd. So I'm glad I got the antibiotics to kill the bacteria in time. Shaking. That was not good. If I feel better tonight, I will go dancing. If not, resting. All good. Not going to flog my own half-dead horse. Not anymore. 19th of November 2015. Hotter than a suckling pig's breath on a charcoal spit. Even in my hammock, which is covered by the mosquito net, feels like a cocoon. I might emerge as a sweaty, fried up butterfly. Schmeh. All good. 1:31 p.m. I woke up to stinking heat. I raced out to put little Broody, I don't know what's happening to me, all of a sudden. To put little Broody, Helga and Heidi in an ice pack. Too hot to squat on a nest. I brought the washing in. The topper is still wet, but it takes several days for the feathers which clump up to dry. I gave it a beating and left it out there. I threw freezer blocks in the large fish pond. They get overheated too. Now I'm pondering what to do today. My hands are aching with an arthritic feel to them. Storm coming or just the heat? My neck is still sore from washing. I think we're getting a storm. I think I've got thunder asthma. It's come on so suddenly. My neck is still sore from washing on Saturday night. Oh my goodness. The forecast says 26 degrees Celsius sunny. It's not even that hot. But the lungs know. Trust the lungs, babies. Trust in the lungs. They know. I had the nightmare that all my teeth fell out. I was chasing Crystal around. She was about 13 as she had kidnapped 20 pedigree ragdoll kittens from pet stores and one Dalmatian puppy and was hiding them in exclusive rich people's apartments. And I had to keep apologising to the rich people and getting the cats out of there. Crazy dream. One man noticed my teeth falling out and I showed him my tongue, which was split down one side, so I decided to go to the hospital. First time in many nightmares that I actually decide to go to the hospital, and only because my tongue was split. Progress. Laughing my ass off. And there's this really weird light out there. There's definitely a change of some kind. I'm sure I'm sure I dream that dream because my tongue and teeth get dry from my snoring and burping. The kitten and dog veinet is abundance and feeling guilty about such abundance. 3 more sleeps. I will not feel guilty. I deserve our seed and he deserves me. That puppy was torn from me a week later by viciousness. It will be another big love, a constant companion. He can go out with me on my adventures. It is going to be awesome. 1:19 a.m. Just had a shower to wash off the lichen and mould from the back wall. I've been making lanterns in my laundry. So industrious. I guess after sleeping for weeks, it is time to get things done. I am exhausted. Knee aches, feet ache, back ache, but I feel like I had a good day getting more odd jobs done. The only thing left to do in the garden is cut up dead saplings and branches for firewood, if I can be bothered. Time to schluff. Good night, Lila Toff. 19th of November 2014. I just got home from my debrief, then a shopping spree at Garbo. Garden City is enormous now. I had a late lunch, early dinner. I got home to a sacred space killing fields. Another dead toad. That makes 2 this week. Blech. I hate toads. Unlike the dead rat, the crows, or perhaps the kookaburras, didn't eat or fly away with the carcass. It was mysteriously sitting on my pathway, legs stretched out like it was still hopping. I flipped it over as it looked like it might still be alive, but alas for him, no. Big holes in its belly. Sighs. I hate touching those things, so I flicked it with my rake into the undergrowth of my giant jade tree. Everything was wet from the storm, and I didn't feel like burying it. My pet crows are being very useful. I thought about salting the toads last night, but I hate making them suffer so horribly. Now I can relax, as Ragnar and his crow family are eradicating them from me. Woot! Thanks, universe. I told my psychiatrist that I had been banned from Irish Murphys. This was back in 2000 and, did I say 14? Yeah, 14. Had finally let go of Dave, and that my moods had been running high this week after all the crap of the last 3 weeks. He looked at me and said, "You are not crazy, Tanya. You are too coherent. You are exhibiting the signs of freedom after all that evil. You have let go, so you are free." He is so insightful. Thank God for having such a wise and intelligent doctor. I told him about my animal and bird companions in my sacred space and how wonderful it is to be surrounded by great spirits in animal form. And I also told him about the Indigenous woman I met who comforted me after that bastard Ellie emotionally abused me at the pub. I said that for every bastard who tries to destroy me, another earth angel steps up to the mark to comfort me and remind me why life is worth living. He said, She has a great spirit, as Aboriginal people often do, and she recognised that you are a powerful woman who has been disrespected and mistreated. He said, men fear your sexuality and your power. I said, Doctor, I rarely chat up the men at the pub. Very rarely. I'm always dancing, and if they are interested, they have to come to me. That is how I know who is king. He said, you are a powerful woman. He was disgusted at how I was treated. I told him neither Irish Murphys or the CSO security company had even responded to my complaint. Too gutless. I told him I won't go back for more abuse. I can buy a litre bottle of Jack Daniels and get creative at home. I told him I was probably targeted in advance of the G20, as Newman would not have wanted colourful, wonderful characters like me about. He agreed. The government turned our city into a police state and a ghost town. He said when he left for the weekend, people were on the roads in droves, afraid to stay in the city. This is 2014, people. I said there was nothing to fear. Brisbane was used as an experiment to see how the government could shut down a city. The cops were too busy doing the nutbush outside the pub to take anything seriously. Well, that was prescient. What happened during COVID with hospital staff and the coppers all doing their weird, macabre, evil, perverted dances? It was cute, but unprofessional. They probably all got put on a charge by the chief superintendent if they saw the video. It's insane, but funny. At my shrink, so I checked out beacon lighting as I was early. My current obsession is copper pendants that I want for my kitchen. $249 each. I will have to look out for copper bowls in op shops and drill holes in them to make my own. Everything is so fucking expensive. Then I went up the road to Pet Barn and priced dog mattresses for a Pomeranian I can't afford either. Now suitably irritated, agitated and depressed. Herr Doctor can't cure poverty, but I can laugh about it and take my meds like a good little mental patient and dream of opulence. Yay! Psychedelic dreamer never runs out of colourful hopes and dreams. Manifest that, bitch. No man, no money, no hopes of either, but I still got my health. Hack, wheeze, pirouette. I need to dance this weekend to clear out the heebie-jeebies in my mind, body and soul. And I moshed so hard on Friday night. Oh, the back of my neck feels really tight and really swollen. All the bones, even underneath my neck, along the back of my shoulders. I really do myself an injury, but I cleared out the fucking heebie-jeebies, babies. Oh my goodness. Until that young man put his hand on my bottom, which I just went whack. Mid-trance, mid-dance, didn't even pause. Bang! Yes, never fuck with the Tanya, ever, ever, ever. Especially when she's between dimensions the way I was. I got up at 12 noon as Crystal brought my car back. She was exhausted, so fell asleep on the couch. I have a perfectly good spare bed, so go figure. It's weird, neither my friend Jared or Crystal will ever stay overnight or sleep on my spare bed. It's a queen size bed, and the mattress is still fairly new because it's hardly being used, you know. They won't stay here. They'll sleep on the couch if they're really, really, really badly exhausted, or they drive home in a state of exhaustion. I mean, like, what is wrong with my lovely home here? It's really disrespectful how I'm treated. It really is. Perhaps they're afraid that they'll catch poverty off me. Ooh, poverty. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. So I go outside to let the chickie babes out. I threw them some frozen watermelon as it is hot again. Ragnar and his Mrs. Crow joined in the fray to get some watermelon. So cute. Then he pissed me off by dunking bread in my waterfall in the pond. Then I went to bury the dead rat, but Ratty was gone. I suspect he's been taken by one of the crows, or worse, his little furry body will turn up dismembered in various parts of the garden, like a lorikeet head years ago that used to keep appearing in the lounge next to the couch. It was macabre, like the rainbow lorikeet zombie apocalypse. I would throw it outside and it would magically reappear next to the couch. Oh, that was a classic. That dead head scared Jared, Gail, Crystal, before finally an intervention was held and I was forced to throw it out in the Otto bin. I was fascinated with it. It was sort of mummified. It kept coming back. I love lorikeets. I have kept several over the years. But it was not an act of cruelty. The thing had died weeks earlier. I just wanted to see how many times it would keep reappearing. It was many. So this time around, I'm not looking forward to the zombie rat apocalypse. Like, ooh. I miss seeing that bright orange beak appearing in the lounge room. I should have kept it and glued it to my wand. Ha ha! That would have been great mojo, but would have creeped everyone out. 19th of November 2013. We're nearly finished, people. We're nearly finished. I slept the day away. My chest is still bad. I've been out in the night, hanging out, washing. I also cleaned the filter on my fish pond pump. The pond is looking good. The water lily, today is Sunday, isn't it? Should have done it today too. I normally do it on Fridays, but I'm out of sync. I think it was Sunday I did it last week. So it's due again. The pond is looking good. The water lily leaves almost cover the surface now. I am still trying to clear it. I put more barley straw in it. I think it is slowly working. Why is that not scrolling down? Stupid machines. I hate being at the mercy of machinery. 19th of November 2012. So true and so beautiful. We always remember those who have cared for, supported and nurtured us, even the wild ones. And it was a video on YouTube. Lion and Christian returns to the original owners. You know the lion from Born Free? He came to visit his original owners, and it was just the most beautiful, beautiful thing to witness, the love between the lion and his human former owners, the absolute adulation, and I cried. I really did cry. Cats are wonderful creatures. All animals are. Their love is real, people. They never fake their love for you. And they'll tell you quite honestly when they think you're an asshole too, as Charlie regularly does with me. 19th of November 2011. Still pretty crook, but still spent time in the garden. It felt good having the sunshine on my chest. But I did end up sunburnt. Everything in moderation, as they say. 19th of November 2009. Still waiting on rain. The Weather Bureau says no, but I say yes and expect it tonight even. Wonders, who will be right? The lungs. The lungs are always right, people. Always right. So on that note, it is now 3:15 p.m. and I've got to rattle my dags and get ready for my drumming circle. And I haven't been I didn't go all through winter because I said to Belinda that because I got sick sitting in the rain last time. And I'm a bit worried because it looks like we're going to get rain again. So I can't really afford to be sitting out there in the pissing rain on a cool afternoon with my shitty lungs. Because sooner or later it's going to kill me, right? It is circling that drain. But anyway, I haven't been all through winter, and she messaged me and said that she's been getting more people coming, which is lovely, and wanted to see if I was coming along, and I said I would. So I'll honour my contract, and I'll turn up and sit in the drumming circle and enjoy the drumming, which is also good for the soul. So on that note, beautiful people, don't actually feel all that well today. I felt okay when I started making this video, but then I had that weird sudden coughing fit. I have to mention the word coughing and I'll start off again. But I actually feel quite icky. Here's the sky outside. It's a strange looking light. So anyway, I'll still go, I think. It's been a while, and I got put off some months ago because there was somebody being a bit bitchy and snarky, some fucking demonic-ridden fucking imp. So we'll see how we go this afternoon, because I'm not going to tolerate any nastiness from any fucking misfits. You know, if they get nasty, I'll just get up and go home. I don't have time. Literally don't have the breath to tolerate nastiness anymore. You know, life is too short and too precious. But you know, I don't perceive that there'll be any nastiness this time. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I'm just making a decision in my head about how I will react if there's any malfeasance, you know. I've got to always prepare my mind a little bit ahead of time, because one never knows, you know, how things are going to be until you get there, right? That's how it is with my world. One has to always be, you know, hypervigilant and aware and contain one's own emotions and reactions to a certain degree. So, the way I was feeling earlier today, feeling all the energies around me, being gifted extra protection, I half expect someone malevolent to show up. So we shall see what we shall see, right? In any given moment, I have a choice whether I sit in a circle being stared at by former lovers who are malevolent, who fortunately haven't turned up for about, 12 months or 2 years, or whether I simply arise and shine in my own divinity and walk out and go home, because I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I come and go like the wind, according to my own will and inclinations and level of interest, motivations, desires. And if people choose to be ugly, as they often do, I don't have to take on that ugliness. So on that note, my beautiful friends, family, countrymen, YouTubers, subscribers, and anyone who stumbles across my videos, I am a powerful woman and I own my own body, mind and spirit, and I am happy and I am free, and I am a bit fierce when confronted with malevolent low-life dogs, but I'm also a deeply spiritual, loving, mummy, warrior goddess, psychedelic dreamer. So there is that. So, love to you all. Have a beautiful day in the space-time continuum. It's now 3:20 p.m. That was a long 5-minute goodbye, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm off to brush my hair so I look a little bit tamed and civilized and socially acceptable to the critical, judgy, snobby elitist ones. Can't take them seriously. And but I will brush my hair because, it needs a brushing now. And I'll put on my shoes and off I'll go, tiptoeing through the tulips, whistling Dixie, singing my theme tune. What's my theme tune? Nothing else matters, babies. Bye for now. Love you all.